There you go. Hello, ladies. Joni and Kahisha in the house.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Is your video just about to start working?
I'm here.
Excellent, excellent. All right, Joni, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Stacy? My head is spinning, but I'm good.
Your head is spinning? Does that mean you've been going through the videos? What does that mean your head's been spinning?
Yeah, I've been going through the videos. Thank you very much. And I started yesterday, I guess it was the some email you sent out, the 5-day challenge. So stayed up until 2 a.m. watching those.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
That's why my head's spinning. So
I bet. It's funny because I didn't even know about that email campaign that I sent out. We have an assistant who I think he lives in Pakistan. I can't remember where he lives. It's been a little while since we talked about it. And we cannot communicate verbally very well at all. I don't understand what he's saying, but we can communicate great over like typing back and forth. But he is an absolute wizard when it comes to that kind of thing. Like I brought him on to help us with the YouTube because I'm like, I just don't have time. And he's like, ma'am, he always calls me ma'am. At least I graduated from sir. Ma'am, is it okay if I make email campaign for you? And I was like, sure. I didn't even know what he was talking about. And all of a sudden I get it firsthand. I was like, this looks legit. This is amazing. Yeah. So we have come to love him. He's like just absolutely amazing. We don't know what he's saying, and we kind of go back and forth to get clarification a few times. But that guy knows his stuff. It's good stuff. All right, so let's just start with kind of walk me through your last week. Kahisha, I'm gonna have you start. Like, tell me about your last week. What have you accomplished? What are you working on? And we'll kind of start from there.
I'm actually on the market research for the apartments. So I actually got past the first section. So I think I'm at like 36 or 37 video of the 64.
Okay.
And I actually started it yesterday, like in the evening. But anyway, I'm still working on the 4 deals that I had submitted offers on.
Okay.
The one REO, I'm conversing with the agent because they will let me put it in my name, and they will or a different LLC. Because I told you the one that I have that I was going to put it under has my rental properties under that, and they won't let me do an assigned designated entity.
Okay.
So, but they will let me put it under in my name or another LLC.
Okay.
And then it was like they wanted a $1,000 deposit, which is fine. I just told them I'll wire it versus doing a certified check.
Okay.
To the closing company. And then they wanted something else. Oh, the proof of funds or the lender, the hard money lender. So because it says because the contract, what did you say, cash, they don't consider the language you told me to put in as cash.
Right.
So I have to do hard money, which is fine, whatever.
Yeah, the banks don't really care actually. It's usually it's regular sellers. The banks, they don't care.
And I have a buyer already. So
oh, what?
Yes, I have a buyer.
Excellent.
So that's what I'm like, when it was like hard money, I was like, fine, whatever. So yeah, so now I'm just waiting. So of course they want the deposit 2 days after the contract is executed, which is fine. So that's where I'm at as of today with that.
Okay. So just a couple of things. So they'll let you, you can basically, you have to rewrite the contract either in your name or another entity, but no matter what, you can't assign it. So putting it in your name will not help you.
Well, right. Well, they say either way, I guess either way, I'll have to do a double closing because I can't assign it. So like if I do the LLC, then I can just transfer, like you said, transfer that LLC to that buyer.
Yeah, you don't want to do a double closing. It would cost you so much money.
I know. And I told
unless you're making like a fat assignment fee, it wouldn't be worth it.
Well, my fee would be $10,000.
Okay. Well, hello. That's good. It's still not enough to do a double close, but that's a great assignment fee. Okay.
Yeah. So
like it.
Well, the buyer said whatever, like he'll accept the LLC, you know, because I told him I would already have that established, and he said that's fine, and double closing, and I'm like, okay. So really now it's really up to the bank or the seller's agent.
Okay. So did you already resubmit the offer?
No, I have to. The agent, the one I'm dealing with, she's asking me, do I want to go ahead, and so I haven't responded back to her yet.
Okay, here's what I think is going to be your best course of action right now. No, will your new buyer take the new LLC?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's going to be your best bet, is just get on. I don't know New Jersey, so I don't know if you could do it like that quick, hopefully, but go set up an LLC. Quick. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Go set up an LLC online tonight. And then you can, if you already have an operating agreement, if you have it in Word, you could just, change it up to match, or I'm sure you could go online and find some sample one. It doesn't really matter. Normally, I wouldn't care about doing this. It's just because you have to show it to the bank. That's the only reason because normally I wouldn't even bother. I'm like, don't do the operating agreement. Let your new buyer do that. But since you got to show it to them, you'll need to do that. But go set up the LLC and then write the contract in the name of that LLC, and then you can sell the LLC. Do not do a double closing.
Okay.
Because you're gonna have to pay a transaction
that's what happened.
fee.
Gotcha. And that's what would happen if I put it in my name. It would be the double closing. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Or your company name. You'd have to close it, which means you have to get transactional lending, which that's going to cost you 2%. Plus, you're going to have 2 sets of closing costs. It's just unnecessary when there's another way.
Gotcha. Okay.
You'll make more money if you do it without double closing.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's exciting.
I know. And he said he'll put all the, like, everything and refund my deposit.
Good.
So we'll see what the bank says.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So your job tonight is get the LLC set up and get your, and get that contract in.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
That rocks.
So I know. So I'll let you know by Thursday, I guess by Friday, what the end result is.
Yeah. Well, and when you do end up getting that one locked up, even though you have another buyer, if you want to present it, when we do a property, we won't always do a property tour, but if we have someone in our mastermind who has a property present, we'll hold the property tour just for that. But if you have it to present, I know you already have a buyer, but it gives you more exposure to partners in the group, to potential private money lenders, and the wholesale buyers. So I don't want you to be thinking of this just from the standpoint of, oh, cool, I'll get more wholesale buyers. You want to invest in apartments. Like that's your ultimate goal. So think about it from the standpoint of, okay, I could present this property as a wholesale, but through the conversation, you could say, yeah, I'm wholesaling this one. My focus is really on investing in apartments. And of course, I'm going to be looking for partners and private money lenders for that. Like you could totally throw it in. Think like a marketer.
Right.
and that way you're still presenting your deal. And yeah, maybe you'll get some more wholesale buyers. Cool. That's cool. That helps to bring some money in while you're starting to lay your foundation for investing in apartments.
Okay.
So yeah. So anyway, if you do get that under contract, if you want to present it and use that opportunity, use our platform of our Facebook page. Plus we do a watch party in our apartments Facebook page that has like 3,000 people in there. It's just,
nice. Okay.
So
I will let you know.
Keep that from that standpoint too.
Yes.
That's exciting, Kahisha. Right on. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. So let's get started. Oh, Tori's here. So we have one other new person who's going to be coming, but she might be running a little bit late. But I want to introduce Tori to our mastermind. She actually just signed her stuff this morning. So I was like, oh, she's going to be here today. So Tori, welcome to the mastermind. We're glad to have you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you all letting me in. I am excited, and I didn't call you. I am excited and ready to make some moves.
Awesome. Well, very good. So Tori is in our platinum level mastermind, so she'll have one-on-one coach, which I haven't. We're going to meet on Friday, so I'll determine whether the coach is going to be me or whether it's going to be Kimberly. It kind of depends on what Tori's done already and what she wants to do. But she's going to be a part of our apartment accelerator as well. So those of you who are in there, you will see her on Thursday as well. So anyway, Tori, welcome. I can't wait to get to know you and just to be part of your journey and help you just rock this thing.
I can't wait. Thank you.
Awesome. So good. Okay, so what I want to do is I want everyone to go ahead and just open up your chat real quick. What I want you to do is just list what it is, your wins for the week. And give yourself some grace. Wins could be anything that is moving forward in any area. So open up your chat. Tori, you signed up for Warriors of Wealth. Yes. That is a win. I am so excited for you for what's ahead. Let's see, is that your thinking face, Allie? Thinking. Okay, yeah. Battelle, you put in an offer? You put in an offer on Hotel Battelle? You did? Did you do it last night? Or this morning?
I did it this morning. I actually have a few questions because I submitted the offer to the realtor, but we haven't submitted it yet.
Okay.
She sent me the offer to sign.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask the questions before I do it.
Totally. Okay. Yeah, we will. Let's just go for everyone else. Go ahead and put your wins in there. And Kahisha, go ahead and put yours in too. I know we talked about it. Go ahead and put yours in as well, so everyone can see as they come in. Okay, but let's talk about that. So you want to give everyone just kind of like a framework for what this conversation is, so they have an idea.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So probably all of you know that I do vacation rentals. This is what I do. I've been doing it for 10 years. And when I started with the mindset of I'm going to do Hotel Battelle. My name's Battelle. And I found a motel that is for sale and I want to buy it. So that's really what's going on now.
And so when Battelle and I were originally talking about it, because her whole background is vacation rental, right? She's queen of the Airbnb. She's like, she knows that business. And so she was originally looking at this as a possible like vacation rental, like Airbnb, like rent it like Airbnb, except it's all under one roof. There's several, was it like 9 or 10 units?
9
units. Okay. So under one roof, because it's been operated as a motel. Or as a hotel. I'm not sure what the difference is.
It's a motel, yeah.
Okay. So what we were looking at is what are the different possibilities, and vacation rental is something that part of what Battelle is dealing with as a business owner in that space is that legislation is starting to get in the way of that business model, and legislation probably because the lobbyists from the hotels, Airbnb infringe upon hotel revenue, and so anyway, it becomes challenging. So that's one of the things she's having to look into is, can I do it there? Can I get grandfathered in? Do they have that kind of license? So she's looking at different opportunities. Those are things that are coming up. So it's nothing that you'll ever see me talk about and teach because I haven't done it, but I do want to just take the opportunity to just expand your guys' minds as to what's out there and stuff, so that you, again, even if it's not that, you just know how to think along those lines. So, okay, but tell us a little bit about, like, what do you see as the opportunity with that one? Why are you considering that property?
So first off, to just piggyback off of what you said, a motel would protect me, because if the city says, hey, we don't allow vacation rentals anymore, then it's like, where do I stand? I could sue the city and maybe get grandfathered in with that, but I don't want to put everything I have into something that's like, well, let's see how long we have to do this for. So it would protect me in that way. And I ran numbers for what it's making now and what it could make if I put some renovations into it. And I see a big potential. And, I don't know if I was if I did the numbers for the construction too low. And I also don't know what I would want to do construction, because I could keep it as a motel and I told you this, and give it like a hippie vibe. And it just depends what kind of people go there, which I have to find out. And that's like hard to find, the demographics of people that travel to a place. So we'll see. I mean, if it goes under contract, we would probably just fly out there and take a look at other places and what kind of people are coming in and out and stuff like that.
Okay, so you have submitted an offer, or submitted the information to your realtor to write up an offer. She's written up the offer, but you haven't sent it in yet. So, okay, what questions?
Okay, here's my questions. So I put it in Adam's name, my husband, and or entity.
Okay, good.
But then I thought, could I put it in Battelle and Adam Ween and or entity? Could I do that? Because I don't know if it's going to be under mine or under Adam's. It really depends on the credits and all that.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter, Battelle. You could even do it in your name and or I don't think you want to put it in both your names. It's not a big deal, but here's why. Logistically, you're both going to have to sign everything. So it's just easier if it only needs to be one of you, which presumably, I'm assuming it's going to be you based on you're doing this deal. Even if you're docu-signing his signature,
right?
I'm assuming you're the one doing it. Right. So, but just to not have to do both of you, and also, it simplifies things when there's one person.
Okay, but the hard money loan is probably going to be under his.
It won't be actually under either of your names. The hard money loan would be under the name of an LLC.
So it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So just do it under my name.
You could, just do under your name and or designated entity, because if you start getting through due diligence and you realize, this deal's good and I'm going to do it, you're going to start an LLC to put that company in anyway, and the hard money lender is going to fund the LLC with, it depends on how you set it up. If you own the LLC, you'll be the personal guarantor. If Adam owns it, okay, then both of you would sign.
Okay.
But you might not want to have both of you sign. You might consider adding the other one on after the closing so that you don't have to both be personal guarantors. It's just a risk. It's just a risk spreading thing. Like not that you expect anything to go wrong, but if something went wrong and you guys had to be like, ditch it, one of you guys is going down credit wise. But why does it have to be both of you? And not that you expected to do it, but if you don't need both of you, then why do it?
Okay, but if it's under my name, the LLC, but the hard money loan is with Adam as the applicant, could they still fund it?
No, the applicant would have to be whoever owns the LLC. So if you both own it, it depends on the lender. Actually, not all lenders require all owners. Some do.
So I could be the one on the actual closing. Until I get the LLC, and the LLC could be under Adam's name, and it would still be okay.
No, I don't know if I followed what you said. So let me clarify. Okay, so let's just say that if the LLC, whoever's going to fund it, whoever's going to be kind of like the front man on the funding, the credit's going to get pulled and stuff like that, that person should be the owner of the LLC. Because from the hard money lender standpoint, the way they're going to look at it is, well, who's the owner of the company? We want the owner of the company to be the one to sign. So if you own the company, they want you to sign. If he owns the company, they want him to sign. If you both own the company, they might ask both of you to sign, which is why I just say it's easier to just do one or the other.
Okay, but then, Adam owns the company. The hard money loan is going to Adam, okay? But then can I still be Battelle Ween and or designated entity in the closing?
Yes, because you would designate the entity to Hotel Battelle LLC or whatever it's going to be, and he could be the owner of it. That would not be a problem. So yes, you could still sign it as Battelle Ween and or designated entity.
Okay. I have two more questions.
Yeah, sure.
When I do a commercial, what is it called? Earnest deposit. Could it be less than 1%?
Sure. There's no rule about what earnest money has to be. It is just what is customary. Like in California, if you're buying, a home as a residence, they expect 3% earnest money deposit. We would never do that as investors, right? At the most, you do 1%, but oftentimes it's some smaller amount. You could do whatever you want. It's a negotiating item. So you could say, I'll do $1,000. If the seller could be like, no, let's do 10,000. And you could be like, we'll do 5. And they could be like, all right, 7,500. Like, it's a negotiating item, just like the price.
Okay.
And yeah, and another thing they could say, another thing you could also offer if you felt like you needed to is, I'll give you $1,000 now, or 10,000, whatever now, and then after due diligence, I'll give another X amount of earnest money. And ultimately, it all goes towards a down payment anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
You're right, right.
You just want to try to minimize the amount you're putting up front before you're done with due diligence, before you know that you're doing the deal. So, but the seller wants as much as possible, of course. Like, it's a game. So, go in a little bit on the lower side, and then let them negotiate it back to raise it up, because they might not care. And if they don't care, then better for you not to have a huge EMD out there.
Okay, the last question I have is the proof of funds. I don't have that yet, which is part of why I haven't submitted the offer yet. Also, I spoke to one hard money lender that was recommended by Steve.
Oh, okay.
And he's been super slow with everything. And we've been talking for like 2 weeks, and he said he'd give me the paperwork tomorrow, that he could fund the deal and he'd give me everything tomorrow. This was yesterday. And it's like, why can't you just do it today? It's like that difficult, whatever. And and the terms.
Patel is a no BS investor, in case nobody, you didn't figure that out. Of course, probably pretty much everybody in this call is as well, but she's like, let's go.
And then I found 2 other people that are also from New York and like move faster, but they live in Florida.
Okay.
And I really like them. And they gave me the time of day today, but they said it takes 24 to 48 hours. They've already asked me for much more paperwork than the other guy has asked. And they just seem really thorough, but that would take 48 hours potentially.
Well, first of all, have her submit it, and they can say, we're working on the proof of funds, but there's no reason for her to wait, as long as the contract is the way that you want it. How many days due diligence did you end up asking for?
30.
Okay, good. And then closing?
90.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Because it's fine, because if they want it to be faster, that's, again, it's a negotiating item. They can come back and go, well, and then as far as the due diligence, is it just a regular like state contract?
What?
Is it just a regular like Florida state contract? Is it a special contract?
I don't know.
Okay. The one thing I do want you to have a clause in there that says during the due diligence period, you could back out for any reason. Okay. And let me see if I can find real quick. I'll put it in the chat and everybody has that as well. I've been actually wanting to look this up for a little bit. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find it and then give that to you guys.
Well, Stacy, I wanted to ask, could the proof of funds be from one place, but then if I like the other offer more, just switch it?
Yep, absolutely. I was going to say, just go with whichever one you can get fastest. Like, just get it under contract. So yes, you could use the mortgage broker, and then if you end up using one of these other guys from New York, that's totally fine. Let's see here. Exhibit, okay. We recently came up with some language on the deal, and I was like, I felt like that was really all encompassing. So I kind of want to have you use that. Let me just find it real quick. All right, I might have to send it out to you guys later, because I don't see it right in front of my face. Requested items, records, financing, personal property, no. Okay, well, Patel, will you just ping me after the call so I can find that and send that to you? And I'll send it to you in the group chat so that everybody can benefit from it.
I shouldn't write back to her until after this.
No, I really don't want you to wait. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. No, that's not it. Mm-hmm. Sorry, guys. I know you're all just looking at me while I'm looking for something. It'll be just a moment. I might have to type it out because I think it's in a PDF. But let's see. It's actually I think it's the standard language in the North Carolina state contract. Let me find it. No, shoot, I'm not finding it that quick. Yeah, Batel, I think I'm gonna have to have you just wait until after. I mean, I know it's late there anyway. It's gonna end up probably being tomorrow, but I would rather you have that language in there, as it's just a protection. It's just like for it's basically it's like for any reason.
Okay.
You'd be able to get out. Gosh darn it. I keep thinking, oh, there it is. No.
Okay, I'll text you after the call. Okay, thank you.
And then I'll send it, just so everyone knows, so everyone will have it. I will send it out on the group string so you guys all have a copy of it. Okay, so 30-day due diligence, 90-day closing. You're already talking to the lenders. Okay.
I have a GC going out there tomorrow, just the one the broker recommended, because she said that she wants to go out there even before I make an offer.
Okay.
And I told her, let's make the offer and go out there.
Good.
You know, just because I want to get an offer in.
Yeah.
So they're going there tomorrow, and then I'll have a little bit more information.
Excellent. Okay. Well, very cool. That's going to be a fun one. So the way that we'll, as for everyone's kind of knowledge, the way that we will analyze that would be like from a value add standpoint. So you look at what is it doing operationally today, and is it, does it pay for itself, but what's the potential there? And that's a big one that Patel's looking at, is the potential of it with her knowledge, with all of the vacation rental stuff she's doing, and applying that to a hotel that's really outdated and just needs a major facelift. Like what kind of potential and possibility is there? And then she'll evaluate whether that's a good use of her funds to go into that project. So that's exciting, Patel.
Thank you.
Boy, when we met in December, we were talking about doing your first flip. I definitely didn't think that 6 months later we'd be talking about buying Hotel Battelle. So
I know.
Pretty awesome.
And now I'm very excited.
Right on.
And nervous. And
yeah, understandably so. But that's what we're here for, to do it along with you and be part of your journey. So
thank you.
All right. So I know we have a few more people that have come on since. So what I've asked everyone to do is in the chat, please put down like, what did you work on this last week? What are your wins? What did you accomplish? Or what did you do to move your business forward at all? Joni, analyzing 2 more markets. I talked to a realtor in one of the markets, explained to him what I'm looking for. Excellent. Very good. Kahisha, we talked about that you watched 33 videos and we'll get a contract under contract tonight or tomorrow morning. I already have a buyer. So amazing. So awesome. $10,000 assignment fee. Love it. Very good, Kahisha. Oh, Kahisha's gone. Okay, well, anyway. Good job, Kahisha, anyway. Natasha, I found off-market duplex and single-family residence through relationship building. Good. So you're number crunching, analyzing a new market, got back into the coursework. Excellent. So you're getting back into the flow of things. Excellent. Okay. Good. Allie, who I know is under Michael, showed up for the call. Yes. When? Good. Mike's in a meeting. We'll join later. We're getting our finances more in order. Still looking for a new place to live. All right. Good. Lupe, working on funding project and would like to establish or discuss establishing a line of credit. All right, Lupe, are you there?
I am. I'm here. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Lupe.
Hi.
All right, so yeah, go ahead and walk us through where you're at, what you need.
So I'm very proud to say that I finally worked on the funding project and I made lots of calls to the hard money lenders. So it was it's a good week on the progress. So one thing that was really interesting and I learned doing this phone call is one of the lenders, hard money lender, actually brought up the line of credit. So he's telling me I can get a line of credit through them, and that way I can see like it will be a lot easier when it comes to making offer and have the proof of funds. But it has a pretty hefty charge fee associated with it, and I guess I just want to talk to you about it to see if it's worth it to get that at that point, or maybe later on when I have more, when I'm more seasoned to do it. Another question I have is, I also hear people talk about like, oh, you can establish relationship with community banks and they'll give you a line of credit. I just don't know how that works. Like, how can I get a line of credit with a community bank without paying like, $5,000 for it? So this is basically like their fee. Like I would pay $2,500 fee plus $2,500 lawyer fee to get it.
Okay, so let me tell you something about hard money lenders. It's funny because that line of credit thing, in my opinion, is just a marketing. It's just a marketing thing, because in actuality, when you go to use that line of credit, you go through nearly all of the same underwriting requirements that you do if you were just submitting a loan. So for example, let's say you submit a deal and they get all of your bank statements, and they look at you and they look at the deal and they get an appraisal and they do all that stuff, right? They might inspect the property, whatever their process is, they do. When you get a line of credit, there's no property yet, right? But so they're going to underwrite you first. They're going to ask for your bank statements, your tax returns, whatever, all the stuff they would have asked for anyway once you had a deal. It's just that they're asking for it ahead of time, and you're paying to now have access to funds so that when you get a deal, all you do, the way that they position it is, all you have to do is then submit your deal and you can get the funded. They're still going to underwrite the deal. And so all it does is save a little bit of time. In my opinion, there's definitely no value in paying for a credit line, because it's a marketing shtick.
Okay.
It's smart. The thing is, it might end up being the same cost to you as using that hard money lender without a line of credit. Like it's not a line of credit the way that they make it sound. It's not at all. It's not like a home equity line of credit. You just pull on it when you want. It's not. You still have to apply. The property has to qualify, which means they're going to underwrite it. Anyway, so all it would do is, if anything, save a little bit of time. You might end up spending the same, but if you're going to pay, let's say that you're going to get a $500,000 line of credit and you're going to pay for like the points based on that amount, but maybe you only needed 200,000. So you're paying for more than you even need. So I just don't feel like there's enough benefit, since it's not actually a credit line the way that we would think of a credit line. And I thought the first time I talked to a hard money lender, that's what I thought. I was like, I definitely want to apply for this. That would be amazing. I could just use the money however I see fit.
Yes.
But that's not the case at all. It's the same underwriting process. They're still going to look
at what they make it sound like.
I know. That's why I say it's a marketing thing that they will use vernacular that we associate to a different way of lending, and they'll use it because I don't want to say that they're doing it on purpose, but I'm sure that they are. They know that we think what that means, and so we're going to be more inclined, let me get it as much as I can, which means you're paying more fees for it, and you may or may not even need to use that much. You might not need that much. So, and it's just not saving you anything. I wouldn't go down that path unless it was you're only paying for what you use, maybe, and if it was going to be the same cost. But if it's cost more to get a line of credit, I think all you're doing is paying for their cleverness.
So what about like getting a line of credit through a credit union or a community bank, like, a more traditional way? How, and I think not as expensive, right? Like, how would I?
Yeah. So historically speaking, banks do not make line of credit loans for real estate investing unless you've been with that bank and been borrowing that from them for a very long time. And if so, you would just call and say, what do you have available? What they will do more is they'll make a loan to your company if they believe that your company is consulting, marketing, like more traditional service providing, but for just real estate has a very low chance of being accepted. So if you go to apply for a line of credit, like at a bank, it's not a good idea to position it as a line of credit for your real estate investing.
Okay.
You might say, we need it for, we don't know yet, like operating capital, and we have, marketing and consultants, and you'll have to position your company a little bit differently than a real estate investing company, which, so I don't know what the name of your LLC is, so it would have to be something that's big enough.
Okay.
Oh, it's time.
Yeah. So you could still ask, just know that usually it doesn't, a line of credit for a real estate company doesn't happen very easily without an already very long established relationship with the bank.
Okay.
So, but call and see, call first, just ask generic questions. What kinds of business credit lines do you have? What kind of business credit cards do you have? Like, what can you offer as a business owner? And then be prepared with having maybe a couple of different business types to describe, so that you can kind of see what do they resonate with, what works. And that way, when you actually go to apply, you have a better idea of how to position yourself.
Okay.
Best for that. But and you could of course always get like a home equity line of credit if you have equity in your house. That would be just a standard, HELOC, and then you could use however you choose to use it.
Okay.
But do some research, what is it called? I can't think of the word, like when you don't tell them who you are, you're under the radar. What is it called? Like when you incorporate so that no one knows who you are. Anonymity. So do it under, do some anonymous, just market research first.
Okay.
And if you want to come to the calls and tell me, here's what I heard, I will do my best to help guide you as to how to present the best way to get the best results.
Yeah, I was interested, in the line of credit with this hard money lender when he first mentioned it, but after he started talking about fees, I was like, oh, that's a lot of money just to, get a line of credit, and I don't even have a deal yet. So.
Yeah, and it's not a line of credit the way that you think.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Sometimes it's just those little things that make a big difference, because how do you know? You don't until you do it and you realize, gosh dang it. And then the other thing that's smart for them from their standpoint is, even if they cost the same as someone else, they know you're bringing their business to them, because that's where you have line of credit. So that's a very smart, savvy thing for them to do. I just don't like the language they use that counts on us having a perception of it, that it's just, you just draw on it whenever you want. Yeah, no, it's not like that at all.
Okay.
They're still only going to loan you X% of the purchase and X% of the rehab. So you might have 500,000, but they're like, well, we can only loan you a 180 because based on your purchase price and rehab, we're not giving you the whole purchase and rehab. You're like, yeah, but I thought I had a line of credit. Well, yeah, but the line of credit, you still have to operate within in that case, you might as well just go get a regular hard money loan. It's probably going to be cheaper.
Yeah, you're right.
Just some thoughts. And and one of the benefits of that they would throw out as having a line of credit is, once you have it, the whole thing will go faster because all you're doing is submitting the deal. That might be true. But the other side of that is, with any lender, once you've done a deal with them once and they have all of your documents, the next deal is going to go faster, because they might just ask you for updated bank statement. But they don't have to completely underwrite you from scratch because they already did it. So it will go faster no matter who you're with.
Okay. Got it.
At least in theory.
Thank you, Stacy.
You're very welcome. Those tricky hard money letters, go watch them sometimes.
They almost got me.
I know. And I only know because this is probably 4 years ago that I went through that process. I sent in everything and I was like, well, wait a second. Let me ask a few extra questions here. And that's when I figured out, I was like, this is nothing different than any other hard money loan, except I'm going to pay more for it for a line of credit that I can't really use as a line of credit.
I'm glad I asked. Yep.
Glad you asked too. Good. All right. Very good. Okay. So before a lot of people came on a little bit later. So we have 2 new people. I already introduced Tori, some of you who are on here. So for the rest of you who came on since then, Tori, go ahead and wave your hand. This is Tori Hartsfield, and she just joined our mastermind. She's going to be in the apartment mastermind as well. And then also Kara, who I don't have your video. I saw your video turn on for a second, Kara. If you're there, if you turn on your video for a second and wave, although I think you're in the car, so maybe you can't. But that's all right. When we see Kara, I'll have her to wave to you guys. But we got 2 new members of our mastermind, so we're excited for both of them. And I think, Tori, you're in North Carolina, right? Yeah. Okay, is in North Carolina. Well, for the moment, also. and Kara is in Wyoming. So we're all over the place. And Mike looks like he's still down in Mexico. Yep, he's in Mexico. Poor guy. Suffering. So in Puerto Vallarta, right by the ocean. Poor guy. All right, let's see. All right, Sue, have been very busy with 9 to 5 work, haven't been networking as much as I should. My schedule is freeing up, so I should gain some momentum again. All right, Sue, are you there? I mean, I know you're technically here, but are you able to go on video?
I am here. Sorry, I'm kind of working still.
Okay, no problem. I was just gonna say, it looks like you might be at work. Okay. Sue, how can we best support you, push you, and help you get your mojo back since you lost a little bit of mojo? For sure.
I think it's just gonna be, listening to stories like with these chats that we have. And I've been getting a lot better with networking, that's for sure. So I'm more comfortable with finding lenders and finding, realtors and that sort of thing. But I just gotta take action.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. Sue, I want to be cognizant that you might have to be like in and out because of your job. What do you want to accomplish by next week?
Hopefully find a serious, lender and a realtor and just start a nice team and just start, making offers.
Okay, which market?
So right now I'm still torn between Austin, San Antonio, and Indianapolis. Those are like my 3 locations right now.
Okay, before you go to bed tonight, pick one and then text to the group your decision. Pick one, start calling realtors.
Definitely, I'll do that.
Yeah, because you could be stuck where you are for the rest of time. Let's not do that. That would be a terrible waste of your time. Make a decision, pick one. They're all 3 probably great. You did your market research. So just pick one and get started on reaching out to realtors tomorrow. Well, and if you're working tomorrow 9 to 5, but if it's somewhere that's 2 or 3 hours later, then do it before work. Definitely. And on Saturday, realtors work on Saturdays. So don't be afraid to do it on a Saturday.
Yeah, I was going to ask around about that if they have realtors working on weekends.
100%. 100%. Right. Saturdays more than Sundays, but even Sundays, I've worked with people when all we could do was meet on a Sunday and we had no trouble reaching realtors on Sunday.
Sounds good. I'll note that. Appreciate it.
All right, Sue, we're ready for you to step back in, get that mojo back going and start making some progress. You're going to feel amazing once you get that first offer made.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so before you go to bed, you text us on the group stream.
Got it.
Which market you decided on. Excellent. Okay. Very good. All right. Oh, Kara's there. So Kara, well, she's I don't know where she is on your guys' screen. So Kara, go ahead and wave. Can you hear us? Oh, she's connecting the audio. There you are. Oh, but now you're muted. Maybe she can't hear. There you go. Kara, can you hear me? Oh, can anyone hear Kara? I can't hear now. I just see your lips moving. I can't actually hear you. Dang. All right. If I could read lips, I'd be all over that. But for some reason, your audio is not coming through. Okay, but anyway, everybody, that's Kara. Oh, she disappeared on us. But anyway, Kara is going to be part of our group. She's a single mom, a 14-year-old daughter, and she's just an absolute kick-ass woman. I just got a chance to meet with her yesterday and do our strategy and onboarding call, and she's going to be an amazing and fun addition. She already owns some rental properties and is just looking to expand, go remote, all the things, all the good things. All right, Temi, talking to a property manager tomorrow. Anyone have a sample contract for property managers? Temi, is the property manager you're talking to tomorrow, is it already an established company? Wait, we got to unmute you.
Yeah, it's not now.
It is not? It's just a person?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had him as he used to manage for his sister, who I lived with when I first moved here. So he was my property manager when I moved here.
Got it, okay.
I know he's pretty competent, but I don't know if like it's not initially a very formal thing, right? So
Yeah. So you want to have
I don't
something?
already, and we're gonna have to sort of work through the terms of how we want it to operate.
Okay. If you send me a message, like just a message over Messenger, I'll look through and see if I can find a sample one
Gotcha.
somewhere. But even if I don't see that, like you could just Google sample property management agreements. I'm sure I have some in my files because I've had multiple property managers over time. I just have to dig through and see if any of them are on this computer. But yeah, but even if not, that's what I would do. If I didn't have one, I would just be like, all right, Google sample property management one and go through. And just based on what you know, you've been a landlord for a while, so you know some of the things. So if there's something you feel like isn't addressed in there, you just add it in. But
Yeah, and then this is not a victory, more of a challenge. I'm still struggling to find a contractor. The guy I was talking to was supposed to start on Wednesday, but he's stuck at a different job. His what's it called? His past schedule or whatnot, and so he's stuck at a different job. Supposed to start last Wednesday. He hasn't started today, and like I'm struggling to communicate with him. So I'm struggling to find another contractor that would work with my terms, which would kind of I want them to be able to. I haven't gone to that part of the video, but I want them to be able to separate things as labor and materials, so like I can sort of pick and choose what I want to do and potentially buy my stuff myself. So I'm struggling to find a contractor that is that flexible. I don't know if you, and I haven't gone to those parts of the videos where we potentially talk about that. So if you want to.
let me ask you this: first of all, where have you been looking for contractors?
On the online, on the internet.
Yeah, and like, but where? Like on Google or any particular
Google,
website?
contact, recommendations from the ones I use that I'm saying aren't very flexible. Recommendations from the inspector I use, and then what's it called again? What's the last thing I was looking up today? TripAdvisor, like one of these, like don't remember what it's called, but one of these apps that like has like contractors and like recommendations for like work people, I guess. I don't know what it's called anymore, but
okay.
But just so Thumbtack, which is like a hire anyone type of app, and then home. I don't know if it's like Home Advisor or something
Home
like
Advisor.
that. Home Advisor, yeah, that one.
Okay. That makes way more sense than TripAdvisor. I was like, TripAdvisor has that?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
no,
Okay, Home Advisor. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Another website, if you haven't seen it yet, is Houzz, Houzz. But I don't know that it's the website that's the issue right now. It's where to find it. You might just need to have different conversations with them. So what you're trying to accomplish is you want someone to give you a quote for work, but you may not have them do the whole thing because you're trying to like financially balance everything, right?
So yes, I have a limit, right? I had an $8,000 limit, but I was able to get the price down. So I have a $12,000 limit on the price, and I've already spent $7,000 getting a AC unit installed and fixing the flooring. So that they needed to add in some subflooring and fix. I'm blanking out today, but yeah, they had to fix the flooring and I had to install a new AC. So $7,000 is already gone. So like I'm still trying to fix, and I want a place to look nice. There's like things like painting some stuff, and like I'm like I may not need it, I may need it, like depending on how everything comes out with a budget, right? So that's kind of where I'm at, and so.
Okay, so are you dealing with a $5,000 budget then, of what's left?
Sure. Yes. Correct.
Okay, so what I would do is just instead of like just looking for more people. I think I would just shift the approach and just say, look, here's all the things, and just tell them up front, like I had X amount of dollars, I've spent so much so far. What I have left is I have $5,000 available. These are all the things that I know need to get done. Can you tell me what are you able to do with $5,000 so that I can figure out like what am I going to have to do myself? And just do it from that standpoint instead of asking them to break everything out, because that's so much work for them. And since the contract is so small, it's one thing if you're asking them to do it on a $70,000 project or even a $100,000 project, but even that, you'll get pushback. Even that, like they'll be like, I don't want to break it all out. You're like, it's a $100,000 rehab. But on 5,000, it's especially not going to be worth their time. So I don't know that I would have you keep bumping your head up against trying to find the right person for that. It's just the job is too small for that. So I think if you just say, this is what I have available, or whatever you feel comfortable, 4,000 for negotiating standpoint, 5,000, and just say, just tell me what you can do of these things. And then if they give you the list and you're like, well, I could technically do that one thing myself, and say, okay, well, if I did that, what other thing could you do? And just try to negotiate it that way with whoever you like. And is the guy that was supposed to come out on Wednesday that's behind, is he willing to do what you need? Is it just a timing issue?
Yeah, he's absolutely willing. It's just a timing issue. Yeah.
Okay. And so he was supposed to come out last Wednesday. What is his current prediction of when he can come out?
Well, we went from Wednesday to Friday, and then I was asking him about Monday, but I haven't really talked to him about that since then. He didn't get back to me about Monday, so I haven't asked him since then. So
okay.
I'm just
Monday,
like,
as in yesterday.
Yes. So like on Friday, I was like, Ken, how about Monday? And I'm guessing he didn't know, so he didn't reply back. Again, his past budget and it keeps moving, so I'm guessing he doesn't really know like a good time for him as of yet. So I just haven't asked him since last Friday, and so I'm just like trying to look for someone else at this point. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I would actually circle back around to him first.
Okay.
And just see if you can get him on the phone. Just say, look, I really want to work with you, and this is just the first of many projects. As I start buying more, we're going to have more projects. I'd love to be able to bring you that business. But what I need right now is for this to get done and get done right away. We were supposed to start last week, and at this point, it's holding a lot of things up, and a lot of people are waiting for this to get finished. So what can we do to get this knocked out? And if we can get this knocked out, well, you're going to be the first one I call for when I have like a full $50,000 or $60,000 rehab. And just what you're doing is you're just prioritizing yourself higher in his mind, because they realize, oh, there's more money I can make if I step up and just prioritize Temi right now instead of whatever else he has going on. So I would try that with him first and just be like, look, man, I really got to get this done. And I know you're not meaning to keep pushing me off, but at this point, I need to go find someone else if you're not going to do it. But I'd love to work with you because I'm just about to start buying more property. And this would be great. Have you worked with him before?
No, I haven't. But
okay.
He was recommended.
Okay, so you could say that. So this would be a great opportunity on something small for us to get to know each other. And assuming everything goes well, we get it done quickly. I mean, I'll definitely have you bid my other stuff. And Temi, even if you don't end up doing more in Indianapolis, I'm guessing you probably will. But even if you don't, there's a lot of people in this group who do. So you are very valuable. Even if it's not your work, you are very valuable, because if he does a good job for you, you're going to have no issue telling someone else, hey, I don't have any project right now, but my guy did a great job, so why don't you give him a call? So that guy can really make a lot of money because you're in a mastermind with probably 25% of the people in this mastermind are investing in Indianapolis. And those are just the people in this, like who knows who else you know. So build the bigger picture for him. Just say it's you. You don't have to say everyone else, because that sounds kind of like gregarious, like, oh, I have all these people. It doesn't sound believable, but you can say, I'm just positioning myself to start buying my next couple of properties. I'd love to use you. And I just mean you can feel okay with saying that, because even if it's not you, you're certainly going to be in a position to recommend him to other people if he does a good job for you.
Sure.
That's a very valuable thing. So that's actually the first thing I would do, is try to get him on board. If he's already going to do what you said at the price, and you could just get him locked in there, that would be ideal. Second would be just circle back with a different conversation with the people you've already talked to. I wouldn't keep looking for new people to try to get them to fit that, because the job is just too small to make it worth it to go through all that. That's my gut on that one.
Thanks. Yeah.
No problem. All right. Very good. Okay. So we were going in the chat, talking about wins for this week. Let's talk about is there anything that you guys are stepping your toes on, or that you need some help with to be able to move forward? So in the chat, anything you're stubbing your toe on, any questions that have come up, anything that you're like, can we just talk about this? I can't tell whether you guys are just typing. Go ahead. Go ahead, Keisha, and then Temi. Yeah, go for it.
So because I have, I guess I say 4 offers in, I want to keep putting in offers with her, and then of course other ones. Should I do that? Because I don't want to like be over flooded with work, as far as like, what if hypothetically 4 of them get accepted and then I'm doing, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
what
What
should my
are the
pace
strengths
be?
the strength of offers on the properties that you're offering on?
So she just sent me an email. One of them has an offer on. So mine's is the second offer.
Okay.
So, and then the other one just came back with a counter, which is like 20,000 less than what they're asking, but mine's is still less than, you know, so my max, I already gave them my max as far as repairs.
And how far off are you from what they came down to?
My offer is 96.5 and their counter is 120.
Okay, so you're pretty far apart on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one doesn't, okay, so the one that you're in second position is not a big threat to be accepted because there's already an accepted offer. This one is not because you're kind of far off on the asking price. Okay, so I'm not concerned about, what about the other two?
The one is the REO. That's the one that I have to work on tonight and get the certified funds tomorrow.
Okay, and what's the offer, like what's the offer on that one?
That asking is 145. I offered 98.
Okay, so not a big threat on that one.
And that's the REO, so.
Okay. Okay, so I'm not concerned about any of those three. What's the fourth one?
And then the other one, she hasn't heard back anything.
Okay. Yeah, keep making offers.
Okay.
If you told me I made an offer that I was 100% of asking, I'd be like, I'd actually still say go ahead and still make offers until you hear, but maybe don't be as aggressive. But given that none of them are really that close, just keep making offers. It's a numbers game, and that's normal. Oftentimes our offers just come in a lot lower because what we can offer for our strategy and what the seller can accept are just oftentimes far apart. So just keep making the offers.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And the thing is, every time you're doing it, you're learning something along the way. So you're picking it up.
Yeah, and
Patel, you have something go ahead, Keisha. I think Patel has something to say about your
I'm sorry, Patel. I was just gonna say, and I'm less fearful than speaking with the agents and getting more comfortable with the language. So, inputting everything into the group is also helping me with the feedback, from everybody. So.
Excellent. That's good. And that's Sue, if you're still listening, I know you're at work, but if you're still listening, that's what I want for you. That's why I want you to get to that point, because once you're in there and interacting with the agents and making offers, you still are kind of stumbling through because you're figuring it out as you go, but you're doing it. Like Kahisha's saying, she's getting more confident every time it's happening because she's starting to understand the process and more stuff's coming up for her to understand, but you've got to get in the game before you can get that kind of feedback. Patel, did you have something you want to say about that?
Well, I had a question that Kahisha's question reminded me of a question that I have also, which is that I don't even know if I'm making the right offer. I'm shooting a number, which I know isn't the way that I'm supposed to do it. I did the BRR calculator.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same for apartments, and I'm guessing it's not. But I just went kind of off of that. I don't know if my construction is the same amount. And then I just said I'll do $50,000 less for an offer, just for what I want to pay. Just kind of shooting from the gut. And I'm sure that's not the right way to do it. And then I also asked the broker, which I hate doing, but I asked the broker, what do you think about this offer, just to get feedback from her. And I said, be honest with me, but she doesn't really care.
Yeah, she doesn't really care. No, normally when you make the offer, it would be based on how is that deal going to work for you. So to a very small extent, the Burr one, but like I said, you're in the apartment group, and by Thursday, the calculator for the apartments will be ready for you. And then you could run it through that and see a little bit more detail. But even the Burr calculator, you could at least get basics. The main thing that you wouldn't be able to project, you'd have to do it kind of off, by hand or in Excel, is you have to figure out what is the value of the property going to be once you do the turnaround on it. Did you do that, based from the net operating income standpoint?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then in that case, you can use the BRRRR calculator. It'll at least get you in the ballpark, but you're never going to know the actual rehab. You're never going to actually know the actual anything on that until you get into due diligence. And we're not going to bother to go into that level of detail unless we have it under contract. So you did the right thing. You came up with an offer. I mean, it sounds like on one hand, it sounds like you're just throwing out a number, but on the other hand, you said you're using the calculator. So
I did use the calculator.
Okay. Then that's fine, Patel. And the thing is, if the number that works for you works for the seller, great. And if not, the seller can counter back. And then you might say, okay, well, now let me spend a little bit more time on it. Now that I know that we're at least having a conversation about it. But there's a lot of times where what you can offer is just going to be lower than what they want. So why go spend, a bunch of hours digging into it when you're so far off, it just doesn't matter. But if they're like, well, I mean, I'm not going to take 50,000 off my price, but I'll do 25,000. And if that number might work for you, if the numbers end up working, then you go, okay, well, let's spend some time, or maybe I'll accept that offer. It's like what I told Bill a couple of weeks ago is go ahead and just accept the counter offer and get into due diligence, because at least the property's off the market now. Because right now, the longer it is before you have that property under contract, the more possibility there is for someone else swooping in and putting it under contract. I can tell you, Cammy's on here now, but I can't see her face yet, or Leroy's shoulder. Cammy's had a lot of frustration lately about that because she keeps having properties that she wants and the broker's not responding in a timely manner, or she didn't get the information, get an offer out fast enough, and then she goes to submit an offer. Someone already did, and they accepted it. So it's just better to act quickly and have your due diligence period so that you can get out if the numbers are not what you want. So don't worry about it that you don't know what the rehab's going to be. Okay, you threw in a big chunk of money. Who knows what it's really going to be? Might be $20,000 less than that. Might be $20,000 more than that.
What if it's $200,000 more than that?
Yeah, then you would just back out of the deal. That's my whole point. But at least there's no point. You don't want to be like sending out a bunch of contractors and doing all this work if you and the seller can't even come to an agreement now. And it's a different approach because some investors will do all the due diligence and then they'll go write the offer. But what they found is that I already have it under contract because they took too damn long to get it under contract. Go lock it up, then find out what's real about it. And if it's good, you just keep going. And if it's not good, you renegotiate or you back out. But you just don't want to end up losing deals because of having to have all the information. Because by the time you have all the information, someone else already made the offer and got it accepted.
Okay.
So you did the right thing. You're doing the right thing. Like I said, because of the size of the property, I just want to have a little bit extra language in there for you about being able to back out for any reason, like we talked about before.
Okay.
But other than that, don't worry about not having everything.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Could I still write not subject to approval, like it shows in the offer page, to appraisal?
Appraisal?
I took that out.
I would say for that kind of project, you are going to get it. You are going to have an appraisal. So I would take that out. I think you should leave it out. Like it's fine for it to be subject to appraisal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I mean, you're going to use any other reason to back out, but you might as well have the appraisal. It's not going to be odd for a property like that to have an appraisal contingency in there. Part of it is you're offering on a 9-unit based on the remote passive income course, which is kind of geared towards 2 to 4 family. And so then you're doing your best to like piece it together and you're doing fine, but there's just more to it, right? So I just have to teach you as we go until I get the coursework all laid out for you, and then it'll make a lot more sense.
I mean, at least I have these resources.
Exactly.
That's really helpful. Or
Good.
I would have just been like really shooting from the gut.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Temi, did you have a question or a stubbing your toe on?
I did. It was about credit cards. I know you mentioned applying for credit cards in the finance portion of the course. And you said something about applying for multiple ones at the same time.
Yeah.
Just so you like the numbers work out first and then you don't have to reveal them after all. Do you have more like specific details on that? Like, do we want to get like with the business, with the LLC you already have established, or
Yeah. So the way that you do it, so there's companies that do this, like that's what they do. They charge a fee for it. They walk you through the whole thing. So I've used them before. So I can advise you as much as I know, or as much as I saw through going through that process. So just know that that's kind of the frame. I'll put that with them. So the reason you want to do it all on the same day is because every time you apply for a card, it's going to hit your credit. So if you do one today, one in a couple days, one a couple days later, the ones you're doing a couple days later are going to be like, well, wait a second, you just applied for a credit card. When you're doing it all on the same day, like just back to back to back, they don't see what you're doing, which is kind of an important piece to it. As far as you're usually applying for most cards, you're actually applying in your personal name because there aren't a lot of business cards that have that 0%. But you can apply for business cards. Whatever you're going to do, you just want to get them all lined up, get all the websites ready to go, and then just go at them. Even if you're applying in your personal name, your employer would be your company would be your LLC. So you will list that you have a company, your LLC. You want your income to be at least 240,000. Seems to be, and this is just based on the advice from the company when I had gone through it. And at the time I'm like, well, my income was higher than that. So they're like, that's fine. You can put higher. It's like, it's just that sometimes we get people who are just working regular jobs or making whatever, $60,000 to $100,000 a year. And they're like, oh, I can't put 240. And they're like, what we're trying to explain to them is when you put your income in there, you're putting what your projected income is. You're projecting your income to be 240. So I think that was their way of just trying to help people feel comfortable about putting in the number that is needed for it to work. So I'm just kind of piecing those things together. But like, as far as certain cards, you would just go through and like look up, because it changes all the time as far as like who has those 0% cards and what. Also, since COVID, like that there's things that might have shifted that, that could have definitely, changed things. So I would just go through and research 0% interest credit cards and see what you could find, follow different links, create your list. And then if you're going to do that on the day you're going to do it, you just make sure you write down like what your story is, so it's consistent, your name, your company name, your income, how long you've been in business. I don't know that anyone asks that because they did it for me. So I, again, so some of these things I had to just piece together based on conversations.
And you said there was a 10% fee for like this folks to do it for you?
Yeah. So if you get, $80,000 of credit cards, it's $8,000 fee. So it's an expensive thing. I didn't pay quite that much for it because I got a deal because I was part of a bigger organization. But when you just call off the internet, that's what they charge, 10%. And the reality is it's stuff that you could do yourself. There's just some specific things that they know that we as consumers don't know. But after having gone through it, I was able to piece some things together. And I've been able to help several of my students go get pretty, good size credit lines that they didn't have before, which then helps like when even if you can't pull cash off of the card, if you can charge your rehab when you're in the middle of it, it just helps the cash flow when you're dealing with the hard money lender. You can at least pay for it while you're waiting for the hard money lender to return your money. Like Battelle right now, she was just telling me, it was yesterday, that she's dealing with her hard money lender right now. It's taken 3 weeks to get her drawback. They're claiming because of COVID, but that's like, so sometimes it doesn't usually take more than a week, but it's been taking her several weeks. So it's just nice if you have the flexibility to have some credit available to help with the timing of things.
Gotcha. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. But just be aware, the other side of it that is real is as you start using it, your credit availability or your credit usage to availability, goes down, and those ratios reduce your credit score. So you just have to balance it, especially if you're going to be refinancing the property. You don't want your credit score to go down so much that you can't refinance. So it's a bit of a balancing act. So you don't want to use them up to the limits if you need your credit to refinance. I think you said okay, but okay. But you were on mute, but okay.
I said okay, yes I did.
Okay. Like I think I read that your lips is okay and then got the thumbs up, so I figured that out.
And don't do it in the middle of a deal, because then you have to explain your way around it, because I did that.
I did not know that, Steve. Wow. All right. So, Steve, what are you working on? Oh, Keisha, wait. Go ahead, Keisha. You just unmuted.
I'm so sorry. Real quick. The agent, again, for the certified funds, I know it has to be bank check, money order, or wire. They want a check when I send in the actual contract. So, but then they want the EMD 2 days after the execution of the contract. So, am I actually going to get a certified check, or what am I like? Because that doesn't make sense.
That was why, like, that one thing alone would have made me go, I'm all done with that deal. Here's what's more common. Even this is really old school though. Like I almost never see this anymore, but this is what was common when I was new 17 years ago, is you would submit a copy of a personal check, just a check that you write made out to title company. They can't cash it. It's a copy of a check. It doesn't even have a real title company's name on it. It's just a title company for $1,000 or whatever. And you would, back then, fax, but you would like scan it, send it to them. And so they submit it with the offer, like, oh, here's a copy of a check. It's the dumbest thing ever because they're not going to do anything with it. If they're requiring that it actually be a certified check that you send, I would just be done with the deal.
Yeah, because what if they don't accept my deal? Then I have their name on my check and can't cash it.
Exactly. And now you're going to have to go back to the bank in person, redeposit it as an unused. It's a terrible, stupid waste of time. So I just absolutely do not want you. If they are truly insisting on a certified check, first of all, it makes me think they've never sold a property before, because that's absolutely insane. But second, it's just such a waste of your time. And right now, based on what you told me, your offer is only 65% of what they're even asking. So the chance of being accepted is so low. I wouldn't do anything that's going to require very much effort, because the chance of you getting accepted is super low anyway.
Okay, so I'll send them I'll send them the check with my name, because I don't even have the closing company's name yet. So once
just
I get that
company.
The title company's name. So once I get that, I'll send her back the email after the call. But it just came to my mind about the certified funds, and I'm like, I'm not going to the bank to get a check and all that stuff and they're gonna have an issue with getting it back. So I'll confirm that, and then if it's gonna be they need certified funds, then I'll be done with it.
Just be done with it. It's just I've never ever seen that ever. And if I ever had, I'd be like, oh, you are plumb crazy. There's no way I'm gonna go physically drive to the bank to go get a cashier's check for you to say, yeah, no, I'm not accepting your offer. Forget that. That's crazy. So exactly. You could just tell and if the broker's like, yeah, no, it needs to be certified funds, you can say, look, this is what I'm willing to do. This is all that I'm willing to do. I will send you a copy of a personal check to title company. If they don't want that, I'm just done with this. I will wire the $1,000 within 2 days if it gets accepted. I'm not going to go get a certified check. Unless your real estate agent is brand new, they would have to conclude the same. It's a ridiculous request.
Right.
So,
okay.
I've never heard of that. No problem. And just for everyone else to know, in case you ever get a real estate agent asking you to submit your offer with a copy of a check, it's something that used to be done years ago. All the time. Like, you'd always submit your offer with a copy of a check. It was dumb because they couldn't do anything with the check. They can't cash it. So it was like a formality. Most real estate agents have just gone, they don't do that anymore. But once in a while, you'll come up with someone who's old school, or their broker is old school, and they'll still have it on their list of things. Or you're dealing with an REO who's dealing with their checklist from like 25 years ago, and they just haven't updated their forms. So they still want it, even though it's not even done in real estate anymore. So
yes, I think that's what it is. The seller's agent.
And so it's just with banks, you just got to play their game if you want to submit the offer. But it's something you will come across once in a while. And it's okay, fine. You want to check? So what I did when I was doing that, I just made a photocopy of one check made out to title company for $1,000 with my signature, and made a bunch of photocopies of it. And I would just change the date and put the new address in the memo line. And I just always use the same check copy. So I'm like, I'm not gonna. But again, you hardly even ever have to do that anymore.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
All right. No problem. All right. Okay. So in the chat, I want to know, what are your goals for the next week? What do you want to accomplish between now and next Tuesday? Building your power team, Lupe? Okay, specifically, what members of your power team and how many do you want to have? I want to see everybody's goals in the chat. What are your goals for this next week? What would you like to accomplish? When you write it, your fingers to the keyboard sends electrical things through your body into your brain, and then you feel social pressure because you typed it in the chat. I'm not going to yell at you if you don't do it. I might, but probably not. But it's for you. The accountability is what helps you move forward. All right, Natasha, make offers. Natasha, how many offers? So write it in the chat. How many offers? Write it in the chat. Kahisha, reach out to more realtors, get a deal under contract. All right, Kahisha, how many more realtors? How many realtors? How many offers? Okay, Natasha, 2 offers. Kara, 20 wholesale videos. Excellent. And Kara, by next week and after the 20 videos, you'll have a better idea of what other goals to put other than the videos, because you'll have some actions in those videos, but you're brand new. Okay, Kahisha, 3 realtors, 5 offers per day. 5 offers per day, 5 days a week, so 25 offers. Okay. All right, Aldrine, I have a single family home under contract. You have? Oh, let's talk about that. Okay. Aldrine, I want to circle back around to you on that one, because you said that in the present tense. So let's talk about that. Lupe, we'll call realtors and get 2 good ones to work with. Good. Lupe, what market? Joni, continue finding and analyzing markets. Find realtors in those, probably mean markets. All right. Joni, by next week, what would you like to have accomplished? So I know what you'll be doing. What do you want by Tuesday of next week? Where do you want to be that's different than where you are today? Steve, get rent increased on one of my duplexes. Oh yeah, Steve, I want us to talk about that too. Cami, get organized by adding to the property tracker and power team. Okay, good. Cami, I want you to tell me what you're committing to. When you say get organized by adding, that's just a little bit squishy. How many properties have you been dealing with that you're going to add to the property tracker, and how many power team members are you putting in your power team tracker? Allie and Michael, determine strategy mix between wholesale and going after your own deals. Best approach to get the ball rolling. Okay. Mike and Shelley, listing Wealthy Street, completing the refi, and researching some multifamily properties in the same area. Mike and Shelley, are you refi of Reno? Which property are you talking about refinancing?
Yeah, the refi, believe it or not, still going.
It's still going? Okay, well.
It's been longer than our project in Grand Rapids.
Good time. Well, you started it during COVID, so that probably explains why it's taking so long.
Yeah, that's been painful. I mean, we're not doing anything to delay it, but it's just been painful. So, and that's part of the reason we haven't furthered any processes, because I can't be making offers and getting hard money loans in the middle of the refi. They've already seen the loan we got for Grand Rapids. So we're just completing that project, get the refi done, and then go for work.
Awesome. Okay, good. So you're getting Wealthy Street listed this week?
I don't think we'll actually list it this week. I think we'll prep, get the pictures going, and then probably list next week.
Okay. Good. Did you got the contractors back in there?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Good. Okay. And Lupe, okay, Indianapolis, Lupe, good. Joni, I would like to have 3 confirmed markets. Okay, good. That's more what I was looking for. Start looking for property in those markets, talk to at least 2 commercial realtors in those markets. Okay, so Joni, by next Tuesday, 3 markets that you'll say, these are the first 3 I'm focusing on, bam, bam, bam. Okay, good. Cami, 4 lenders, also need to finish funding project. I have 1 more lender to try to get a hold of. Again, good. And then Cami, how many properties, I did not miss that. How many properties do you need to add to your property tracking sheet to get organized? Okay, and then while Cami's typing that, all right, so Steve, oh wait, there was one person before Steve. Aldrine, are you there, Aldrine? Yeah, I see your picture. Is your video there, your audio?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you say you have a single family home under contract?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Well, I stumbled across it because I know single families. Well, I wasn't really looking for a single family, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
But I stumbled across it. The seller, she's an old lady, and she wants to move. She can't manage her stairs anymore.
Oh.
So it's a three family, not a three family, I'm sorry. A 3-bed, 1 bath.
Okay.
So she was asking 98. She was asking 98, and then I put in an offer for 94.
Okay.
And I think she got some more offers, but she took mine. They accepted mine.
Okay.
So the estimate as it is on Zillow, it's 150,000 without any updates. So I spoke to a realtor in the area, and the house will need, like, I'll have to update like the bathroom, the kitchen, and the floors. So the comps I got, like, after repair value was around 168.
168 after rehab value?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the rents for that area for a 3-bedroom, it would be between 1,600 to 1,700 a month.
Okay. Well, those numbers.
Yeah.
So you were planning on holding it as a rental property?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So you're in the process of finding out what the rehab is going to be. You know the ARV, your purchase price, the rents.
Yeah,
so you're just
yeah, I have
rehab costs?
Yeah, I have a contractor going to look at it on Saturday. And then I'm already working with a lender to possibly, to get the money to purchase it and do the rehab.
Okay. A hard money lender or a conventional lender?
Private money.
Private money, okay.
Yeah, Kogo Capital.
Kogo, okay. So just so that you guys know, hard money and private money, when it comes to institutional, it's the same thing. The people that position themselves as private money lenders is just more of a softer term for hard money, because some people have a negative association with the terminology hard money. So I mainly say that because when we talk about private money lenders in here, we're talking about like individuals, like people that might be like a private lender. But when someone advertises themselves as private lending, that's hard money. Like, it's the same thing as hard money. There's points and interest, and it operates the same way. Okay, so you're talking to Kogo Capital about financing it. How did you come up with your offer price?
Well, I'm a member of another for a nurse REI club. So I spoke to the I was telling them about the deal, and they helped me with the offer price. So they were the ones that basically helped me with that.
Is your strategy to do the BRRRR strategy on it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so what you should do, Aldrin, if you haven't done it yet, it doesn't sound like you have, is you should run their numbers on that. Are you still in your due diligence process?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, run the numbers through the BRRRR calculator and make sure that this deal actually makes sense for you. And it's probably going to largely depend on the rehab, and I know you're not going to know the rehab until Saturday. How long is your due diligence process period?
The estimated closing date is July 14th.
Okay, and how long do you have your inspection period for where you could back out of the deal and get your earnest money deposit back?
I think it's 28 days, something like that. 28 days.
Your inspection period is 28 days?
I think, I could be wrong, but I think that's what I'll have to check back with my attorney.
Yeah, when did you submit the offer?
It was submitted 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks, about 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Okay, so I want you to look at your contract very carefully. Typically, due diligence is only 10 days, maybe 15. So you might even already be outside of it, so be aware of that. I want you to actually run your numbers through that BRRRR calculator before you go commit your funds to this deal, especially for single family home, which is not going to be a huge cash flow.
Right.
I just want you to make sure that the numbers work based on knowing the entire process, because I don't know what the process was that the nurses REI club helped you with or what they were basing it on, but I do want you to look at it from the time you make the offer through the purchase, with using the hard money, with the refinance, with all the costs. And when you refinance, how much of your capital can you pull back out? Does it still cash flow? Does it have at least a 1.3 debt service coverage ratio? All the things that I talked about in the BRRRR videos, just run it through that and make sure.
I was actually planning to go back and watch the videos so I get a better.
Okay. Yeah, good. Do that and then look at your contract, because your due diligence period is not usually 28 days. I'm not saying it can't be. Maybe it is, but that would be very unusual for a single family home. It's usually 10, maybe 15 if you purposely ask for longer because of COVID. So you could be, how much of an earnest money deposit did you put down?
They initially wanted 1,000, but I put down, they accepted 800.
Okay, all right, so it's not a huge amount then. Okay. Okay, yeah, go ahead and double check, because if your due diligence period is less than, well, you opened it in 2 weeks ago, but if it's unless it's 15 days or longer, if you you might need to extend your due diligence period if you can't get a contractor out there till Saturday, and you should get at least 3 contractors, not just 1.
Yeah, because I spoke to 3. The thing is, the seller, she's not at home right now, and she doesn't want anyone in the house when she's not there. So she's the one that that's why the contractors would have been in there this week, like today or tomorrow.
Okay.
But she's not gonna be home until Saturday, and she doesn't want anyone at the house unless she's there.
Okay, so that is absolute perfect reason for you to extend your due diligence period. So look at your contract tonight. If it is 28 days, then you're fine, don't worry about it. But I would be shocked if that was actually the case. So see what it is, and if it's anything, if it's not 28 days, get an extension, because you haven't finished due diligence yet. And even though 800 is not like it's 5,000, it's still 800. I don't want you to lose it if the deal doesn't work for you. Plus, you still need to get a home inspector in there too, if the contractors are okay.
The lender is waiting for the contractor bid to order the appraisal.
Yeah.
So that's what's holding that up.
Yeah. Yeah. And how much money did you project that it needs?
When I looked at it, I think it should be under 20,000. I don't think it needs more than, yeah.
I gotcha. In order to get 168,000, is it after rehab value?
Yeah, it's in pretty good shape.
Okay.
It's just that she didn't do anything with the kitchen and the bathrooms.
Okay.
But the exterior is good. The roof, I may need to change the roof, but it's basically the kitchen and the bathrooms, and ripping up the carpet off the floor. But otherwise than that, it's in pretty good shape.
Okay, and there's only 1 bath, so it's not gonna be too much. Okay. All right, well, good. Well, keep us updated, Aldrin, but go look at your contract and get that due diligence extended if you need to, so that you have some negotiate, because you don't really have negotiating power after your due diligence period is done. So if your due diligence period ends and you get your contractors out there and you find out it's 35,000, you're not really in a position to renegotiate at that point, because your earnest money deposit already went hard. So you always want to negotiate while you're still in your inspection period.
Okay.
I mean, not that you should, even if you're outside, I'd still have you renegotiate, but try to make sure that you either are still in that inspection period or that you extend to put yourself back into it. And try to get 3 contractors out there, not talk to 3 contractors, try to get 3 contractors to give you a bid.
Right. Yeah, I already intend to do that. I spoke to like 5, and then I agreed with 3. 3 of them are going to go look. Yeah.
Oh, 3. Okay, I thought you said 8 contractors looking. Okay, so you got 3 of them coming out on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, they're not going at the same time. One is going in the morning, and then one is going in the evening, and then one is going on Monday.
Okay.
Because Sunday's Father's Day, so nobody wants to go out on Sunday.
Understandable. Okay. Very good. All right. Well, cool. Well, keep us updated on how that's going.
I will.
Yeah, just run it through the burr, watch those videos, just make sure the numbers work. Also, that way when you get the rehab number, you can just go into the calculator that you've already set everything up and just plug in the new number and just see how it flows through. And that way you can see quickly whether you need to adjust your offer price at all.
Okay.
Cool.
Will do.
All right, very good. Okay, so let me see. Mike and Shelly gotta go. Lupe, I'm also looking at my local market. I think this is a good market for burr or rehab. I'd like to do more exploring. Indie for buy and hold. Okay, very good. All right, Steve.
Yes.
Tell us about the adventures of Steve and what you're attempting to do with your rent increases.
Okay. So actually, there's a few things going on. So my rehab of the one side is probably going to be done by the end of this week. He said Wednesday, but that's tomorrow. So I doubt it'll be done tomorrow, but maybe early next week. And so then I'm getting the photographer there to take the pictures. And then the other side, that renter has not paid. The neighbor said she's been moving out. So we haven't been able to get a hold of her, although there is still some furniture on that side. But she is probably in the process of moving out, and I probably won't see this month's rent, but we'll still go after it, but whatever. So then we'll start on that side then next week, getting that side rehab the same as the other side. And we've already got, 2 that are renters that are waiting to look at it, and one of the 2 is gonna probably go for it. So that'll be good because we'll have a renter in by July, most likely by July 1st on the one side. So there's the other property that is just ridiculously under rented. Plus I'm paying utilities on one of them, and it's just pissing me off beyond belief.
I know that.
So I got all the financials for this month. There's only one place that hasn't paid yet, and they're going to pay now, I think this week. And so I got all the financials, and it's like, holy crap, this is ridiculous. Now, some of it's because I'm paying back the money that I got at closing, because any of the security deposits and things like that all got paid to me at closing. So now I'm with this month's rent, I'm kind of paying that back instead of paying it at closing,
Oh, you're sending it to the property manager to hold?
Yeah. So he's taking that out before paying me. So the numbers are just terrible this month, but it always takes like 2-3 months before the numbers kind of really make sense anyway, because there's all those little things. But so that's the frustrating thing. But with this other property, I mean, one side they're paying $360 a month, and the other side is $400 a month. Even if they, and I thought I'd just tell them we're raising the rent to $500 a month, and even if they both move out, it's not that much money. It's okay. I can handle it for a month or 2 if I have to rehab those or whatever. So I don't even care anymore because it's ridiculous that the side that's paying $360 is also having their utilities paid by me. What a joke. I mean, in the winter months, you're basically paying him to live there. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And the guy just felt sorry for these people. They've been living there for like 10 years. He never raised the rent and blah, blah, blah. But it's a business. Although he didn't have a loan. So I guess in his case, he was still making some money on them but still, $360? I don't think I paid that when I was in college, and that was 37 years ago.
So has your property manager already given notice to them?
No, not yet. He's going to do that probably this week is when he's going to go either meet with them and talk about it or send them a letter or whatever. But because he's met all these people already, and he knows who they are and knows their deal. So yeah. Anyway, I mean, I feel bad for them if they have to move, but my God, I can't afford to pay for their rent. It won't even cover my mortgage payment. Well, I guess
they do. They are going to have to move.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it costs. Yeah, it's not. It's a business. It's not philanthropy. And just the only thing I'd say is just to make sure that you give them enough time. Like just give them enough notice. You probably get them out in 30 days, but it would just be good form to do 60. so that they have time, especially if they live there 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. Right.
But I think that's a good move.
I mean, even if we went 90 days, I'm fine with it as long as we have a plan. And this is out of my brain because it's driving me crazy thinking about how low the rent is and that I'm actually paying utilities on one of the sides. It's the most ridiculous thing. So
you're only paying utilities on one of the sides?
Yeah, the other side he pays. So yeah, I don't know. But apparently the previous owner said that guy he had terrible credit, and so they wouldn't give him the utility bill. I don't know.
He shouldn't have rented to him. He should go rent it out an apartment that includes utilities. But whatever, that's not your problem. It is what it is. Well, he's had 10 years to fix his credit, so
Right.
Anyway, it sounds like overall it's a good opportunity for you to go in and do the first strategy basically.
Exactly. And seriously, it's been an awesome learning experience because every one of these properties has a little different thing. Plus, I got notice from my insurance company, and 3 of my properties don't have handrails going in, and there's 2 or 3 steps to get into the place, so had to have handrails put in, which that's not very much money, but it's just all these little things that kind of happen along the way, and then you got to make all these arrangements, and it's those time-consuming things that always seem to happen in my busiest day. So.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Of course they do. And of course, and all of this is the reason, and a lot of you maybe weren't here as early on in Steve's journey, but Steve has been part of the mastermind from day one when we started it. And he's so wild and crazy buying properties. I was like, dude, I got to put you on restriction. You were buying too many properties too fast. And he was like, no, let's go. And I was like, all right, I'll do my best to coach you through it. But this is part of this, the reality. It's just now there's just a lot to do and you're handling it. You're fine. You don't need a lot of sleep, so it's all fine.
Right. And okay. Every day I wake up at 3 a.m. and I can't get back to sleep now because guess what's going through my mind?
All the stuff. Yeah.
Interestingly, though, also, I just got a text actually when we were in the middle of this in the middle of this meeting from one of the lenders that actually you interviewed, Paulo. His name, yeah.
Oh.
He said everything's back to normal now. He's asking if I got any deals going, and he said, everything's looking good. He's got all those old programs he used to have. So
okay, good.
Getting back to normal. And I also talked to that lender that I told everyone about, non-recourse, because I'm planning on building on where I have my self-directed IRA property, that acreage I have.
Yeah.
And he said things aren't quite there. Interest rates dropped like 0.5 point just today for that type of loan.
Oh.
They said mid-July everything will be back to normal. So, or at least that's what they're planning on. So.
Interesting. Yeah, that's good news. I've been seeing emails. Like who was I? I was talking to Vomsi yesterday, and we were talking about the financing, and she's probably gonna end up backing out of the deal that she's in. But I had said, find out XYZ about financing. She goes, well, I already called the local lenders, and the local lenders in this area, because the area that she was investing in was too small for some of the bigger banks. And they're like, so she's like, I'm kind of stuck on financing. And when she called the local lenders in the area, they had said, well, we're not taking on any new loans right now, or we're not lending to someone if they're not already a pre-existing one. And what I told her is, yeah, but Vomsi, that was 1.5 months ago. We were right in the middle of COVID and everything just like freaked out and shut down on lending. Things are starting to open. I've been getting emails every day now from hard money lenders like, hey, our programs are back here. So I just told her, call those same lenders that said no and ask them again because things might have changed. And that's one thing to know about our world that we're in. Things shift all the time. Right?
Well, yeah, and that's why, with this whole lending project thing you got going, it's like, holy crap, in 1 week, everything's going to change.
I know. Well, it's funny because the whole reason I even was like, we better do this is because, oh my gosh, with COVID, everything shifted. So now we got to find out what's available. And now everything's opening back up. I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's just going to end up being everybody got practice calling lenders and they'll have a list of a bunch of phone numbers and stuff. But
exactly.
And so the intent at the time was because, oh my gosh, so much is shut down. We better see what's out there.
Right.
And now that if the project's actually finally taking off, everything's back. Okay, great.
Yep, figures.
Well, whatever. It's still a good project. It gives people experience, but
and we got a huge list of names then,
Exactly. But it's definitely a good thing. That is a huge relief for everyone that lending is back. Because who knew at the time? We know how long that was going to last. So.
Right. Yep.
Anyway, good. All right. Okay, does anyone have any last minute questions? Anything you're getting hung up on? Anything that you want me to kick your butt on for this next week? No, no, no. Everyone is clear on what you need to do to take your business to the next step. And Tori, you probably don't yet, but I won't be able to advise you until I talk to you on Friday, but that's okay. You just start working on the videos in Kajabi, and then we'll talk more on Friday. All right. All right, guys. Well, have an amazing week, and I'm excited to see you guys all next week. Just keep moving forward. Just keep pushing your business forward. Every little thing you do, it adds up. And it's a marathon, so go for it. All right, guys. Have a good one. I'll see you next week.